Hello and welcome to video part 3 for chapter 5, Interpersonal Group Behavior and Team Dynamics. In part 1 and part 2, we actually explained the differences between teams and groups versus teams, and in which way they could be different. We looked at 3 types of teams ranging from functional to cross-functional to self-directed. We examined the possible advantages and disadvantages with teams and how we can minimize social loafing. Now in this part, actually, we will be looking at team effectiveness model. And team effectiveness model here is examined in a certain process, inputs and outcomes. So the process here starts with environment, which would be affecting actually team design. In team design we will be examining task characteristics, how simple or complicated the task which is under examination, the size of the team, maybe the ideal size of the team, the composition, how the team is composed, and then we would also examine the process of team processes, team development, and how this team can be developed. Usually they have a pattern, a 4 stages, 5 stages pattern of development. We will be looking at team norms, team cohesiveness, and team trust. And then the outcome of this model would be effectiveness, team effectiveness. That could be measured on achieving organizational goals, satisfying customer needs, and maintaining survival. I would add not only team survival, team effectiveness could also be measured by team expansion and success. Now, when we examine the task, this is where we look at the simplicity or the complication or the complexity of the task. Of course, in an ideal situation, task characteristics are better when they are clear and easy to implement. Easy, clear, and simple. Tasks are examined when they're supposed to share common inputs and outcomes. And then we also could be looking or examining task interdependence. And with task interdependence, we will be examining different levels of task interdependence very shortly. Also we would examine the size of the team, and we said that smaller teams are better, definitely, but not too small and not too big. So the size of the team can be carefully examined. It is argued that a number of between 4 and 6 members in a team would be ideal number for a team composition or for a team size. So it's not large, too much large, but it's not too much small. So large enough to accomplish the task. So a team size would be small. Smaller teams are better, but also it has to be large enough to accomplish the task. Now, with level interdependence, with task interdependence, we are really looking at a very interesting topic here. This is the stage where people start working together. There is a level of interdependence. So A and B and C, and we can examine the interdependence. We can examine this interdependence at its lowest level. A pool level is defined as a low level of task interdependence. We have a pool of resources, and then the team members actually they are independently sharing these resources. I mean, you could also examine management in the same perspective. We could examine also management as a resources for team members, but there is no interconnectedness between A, B, C. But if you look or if we examine the sequential level, this is a level where we see now there is a level of interdependence. Now, the task A works on would be the input for B, and the outcome of B would be actually the input of C. So this is one way. This is a process approach, sequential approach of interdependence. Look at the mutual, reciprocal level of interdependence. At the mutual level, you would see interrelatedness, interrelationships, two-way relationship between A, B, and C. And that's a very sophisticated level of task interdependence. This is a very sophisticated approach for teamwork or level of task interdependence. Again, with team design, we would be looking at team composition. How is the team composed? Are they homogeneous or heterogeneous? Do they have a certain level of diversity or no, not? So at this aspect of team composition, we examine the 5 C's approach. The 5 C's approach, and we're looking at the level of cooperation, coordination, communication, and support, psychological support provided by the team members, and conflict resolution. So these are the 5 C's where they play a major role in team composition. And then we cannot miss team diversity, because team diversity is very crucial for the success of the team. So homogeneous or heterogeneous, they depend on task requirements. Now, when we examine team development, that's another topic. I'm going to save this topic for part 4. So I'm going to stop here, and I'll see you later. We will carry on in part 5.